What's going on, guys? Happy New Year. Today is January 1st, 2023, and this is going to be an update video on what my social media presence is going to look like in 2023, the business that I'm trying to build out of it, and just a quick little recap of 2022. But this is mostly for people that have already been following me. If this pops up on your Explore page, what's up? I'm Alex Romo. And I would encourage you to tap in and give it a listen because I do think I'm doing some interesting things this year. But again, this will probably have more value for someone that's already been following my journey for a while. So let's get right into it. As most of you probably know, 2022, I supported my entire year of golf through content and social media. I had dozens of different brand partnerships. It was a very exciting year. Checked a lot of things off my goal list, and basically went all around the world. Played the Dakotas Tour, played on Korn Ferry Tour Q School in Omaha. I played in DP World Tour Q School in Italy, and a lot of local events as well. As far as results go, from a golf standpoint, nothing was exciting. But as far as life results go, like proving the concept that I could in fact sponsor myself through documenting my journey online with this camera, I proved that, and I did it, and that's pretty exciting because there's not very many people that have done that, and many people have tried. So it was definitely a polarizing year. It was the best year of my life, and it was also the worst year of my life. And for the sake of this video, I'm not going to break down everything because I want to be more future focused on this one and talk about what's coming up rather than what I've already done. But just to lay the groundwork, that's what happened last year. And as far as my content goes, I'll spend the first 2 weeks of this year offering some learning lessons because I really, over the course of 7 years of off and on mini tour professional golf, I have learned quite a lot. So for all my golfers out there, I'm going to do the best I can to package up everything I've learned to this point in some more long form YouTube style content where I'm breaking down like all the things I know about mini tour golf, and all the things I know about trying to attract sponsors, and all the things I know about developing a practice plan and building a lifestyle that supports golf. What type of side jobs do I think make sense for the pro golf career? I think I can shed a lot of light on at least getting to the level I've gotten to. I may not be able to speak on how to get to the PGA Tour because I've never done that, but I've certainly, gone somewhere with golf, and there's a lot of people 1 or 2 steps behind me that I think if I open up more and pull out things that from my viewpoint maybe seem very generic and basic just because my circle is full of other professional golf friends, most of which have accomplished a lot more than me on paper. So to me, things like Q schools and different mini tours to play and stuff like that may seem very basic, but I'm gonna step back for a second and realize the majority of the people that play golf, it's not basic to them, and they would love to learn some of that stuff. So I'm just theorizing here, and feel free to correct me if you think I'm wrong on this or have a suggestion of a different way to go, but I'm going to do my best to package up things that I've learned up to this point in golf. And then if you've been following me for a while, you probably know that I have a lot of interests, right? I think I'm someone you would call a polymath, which is someone that's like always learning about a variety of different topics. And to me, they're all symbiotic, although maybe to others they seem a bit distant. But I'm very interested in fitness, physical fitness, and almost, into the whole bodybuilding world, but never could get that deep into it because I had to maintain mobility and flexibility for golf, but certainly interested in it. I spend more time watching fitness content than golf content, and I'm very into like overall health and wellness through nutrition, rest and recovery. I am into supplementation. I'm into meditation and mindfulness and reading and gratitude journaling and taking ice baths and cold showers and stuff in the sauna, trying to basically, I guess if I were to distill that all down into one topic, it would be like I'm interested in learning how to live the best life I can, right? And I think another term for that would be like self-actualization, trying to pursue your highest potential as a human being in all the categories that human beings exist, right? We exist on a spiritual level, on a mental level, on a physical level. There's definitely an element of like mysticism to life that I'm very interested in, and I've been barking up this tree for a long time, kind of through the lens of golf, thinking like, oh, well, probably the easiest connection to draw if you're just coming from the golf camp is like, well, fitness. Yeah, fitness is important because that could probably help me have like a more stable swing and hit the ball further, and maybe I'll recover quicker so I can practice longer hours and have more power, blah, blah, blah. And I feel like even that 10 years ago was like a stretch. There was only a couple people that believed in lifting weights and playing golf. The majority of people thought like, oh, golfers shouldn't be lifting weights, so their muscles would be too tight and too sore. So now in 2023, we've kind of shattered that limiting belief, and almost every golfer in college now believes in lifting weights. So that's great. That's a huge win in my opinion. Then step 2 is like meditation, mindfulness, mental training techniques. I feel like that was all very airy-fairy in the past and very few people talked about it, and now that's starting to kind of catch on. And so little by little, I feel like the golf community is starting to realize like, oh, there's other things I can do besides practicing on the golf course on my swing and different mechanical things that could impact my golf game. And even if not, they're just valid things to pursue in life, because life is really just a microcosm. Golf is really just a microcosm of life. And the lessons we learn on the golf course oftentimes are paralleled with things that relate to our regular life. And now that I'm kind of more in the business world as well, through this whole content creation thing I've got going on, I realize that life also parallels to business and relationships. And so this whole, health, wealth, relationships, happiness, sport, they're kind of all intertwined. And so as I'm aging, I feel like the importance of golf has drastically reduced to me in terms of like, if I do or don't make a cut and do or don't qualify for a certain tour, etc. In the past, it has been quite devastating. And now as my life is becoming fuller with some real satisfaction coming from progress I'm making, with my physical health and my mental health and my relationships and my business, I have all these other great things going on that I'm interested in and passionate about. So golf is not everything to me anymore, right? And so what this means going forward, if you've been a fan of my golf journey for a while and mostly are just like, I don't care about anything you said yet, just tell me when your next tournament is, I feel as though it would be unwise to just continually throw all my hard-earned money that it has taken me a long time to learn how to become profitable as a content creator. If I just continue burning all of that on extreme travel all over the world, trying to get on whatever tour I can get on, I'm never going to make that much money, and I'm never going to get that good at golf. Because up to this point, yes, I have been able to cover the golf expenses through my content creation efforts and brand partnerships, and there's a lot of different ways to monetize once you have a following. I've been able to do that, yes, but it's been in exchange for still basically like a 9-to-5. I still have a full-time job and some with content creation on YouTube, Instagram, TikTok, and for various brand partners. To keep that going as a one-man show, you wouldn't understand until you tried it yourself, but it takes a lot more than people think. And so although it's been able to put me through various golf ventures, I've never been all there for the golf ventures. My attention has been at least 50-50, if not more, split in favor of the content creation. And so yes, I'm going through the motions playing tournaments, but I've never been mentally all there, able to actually protect my energy and headspace and lock all in on a goal. And I think it's shown. My results have always been lackluster in comparison to some of my peers that I practice and train with, and I think it's no surprise why. And so I realized that unless I step back and take a couple years to really bring to fruition the value that I think I have as an educator on the internet. So I'm not talking about like trying to be more of an influencer and just chasing more followers and higher view counts on my videos. I'm talking about delivering real value and pulling out of my brain all the different information I've gathered over the years on all these different subjects and pulling that out and aggregating it all into easily understandable, actionable, and relevant content that people interested in the same topics as me, be it golf, fitness, health, wellness, self-improvement, XYZ, can stumble upon my content and actually change their lives from something that I said or showed in a video or somebody else's content that I maybe pointed them to. That's kind of the way I envision this audience that's still growing and evolving with me as I've been documenting this journey for so long. That's my future vision and what I'm working on tirelessly right now. It's why I haven't really been posting much content, and when I do, it's just like very quick little memes and whatever I've had time to get out. It's because I've primarily been writing and scripting what the next couple years of my life is going to look like, because again, life and content and golf, it's all intertwined for me. There is no piece that can stand alone separate from the others. And so because this is a one take video, I'm not going to edit it at all. It might be coming off a little bit long-winded right now, but hopefully this is making sense to some of you. And basically I'm trying to build out a catalog in 2023 of long form YouTube videos. I'm trying to build out an email newsletter, just more in-depth content, which my Instagram and TikTok and shorts, they're all going to be micro versions of what that long form content is about. But I kind of envision myself diving deeper into the life stuff, right? Like, of course I care about golf. I'm still going to continue playing golf, but I want to dive deeper into living the best life I can and finding fulfillment and finding the meaning of life and diving deeper into spirituality. And as I go along that journey and learn and grow and take information from different sources, experiment with it in my own life, and then distill the findings of that for you guys, and essentially use my social media accounts as like a public diary, public journal, public note-taking software, my hope is that that proves to be very valuable. And with time and practice, I'm able to kind of shift from a little more of this like vloggers mentality where I'm basically just documenting my life, and I go to the gym, set up the camera, film myself doing the bench press, whatever, come home and then just edit it into that. And then I go on the golf course, film a couple golf swings and just post that, like, and here's what I did today, day in the life of a pro golfer, blah, blah, blah. There's still going to be elements of that, but I want to put out more in-depth, thought-provoking content, which is going to require more research and more organization of my thought constructs and finding a way to deliver real value to you guys. I feel like up to this point, my value has, the majority has been entertainment based. Like, oh, this is kind of like a TV show. We're watching this kid try to get on XYZ tour and try to win this tournament, and I hope he makes it because of, I can relate to him in one way or another, and watching him chase his dreams inspires me to chase my dreams. I'm glad if that's ever been the way I've been perceived by any of you, but I think I can do even more than that. There's a lot of people that are entertainers, right? And that's great. Entertainment's great, but I feel called to provide more value than just purely entertainment based. And I kind of want to think of my content as more of like a college. It's like an education platform, the school of Alex Romo, and then the subjects are like golf, fitness, health and wellness, mental health, mindfulness and meditation, tapping into the meaning of life and finding your purpose in life, and what does fulfillment look like for you, and how do you design your ideal life. It's like, what better person to talk about that than somebody actively going through the journey of figuring out how to live his best life. That's basically what this is here. And golf is a puzzle piece of that because it's something I care deeply about. I can make an entire video about why I love golf, but it's always going to be important to me to try to get better. And I definitely believe I have a lot more in the tank to give as far as playing professionally goes and actually, gaining status on bigger tours. I think I can do that. I know I can do that. I just need time to get to a more financially free place through developing courses and coaching and mentorship and all of these categories I'm interested in, and actually delivering on my promises and getting you guys life-changing results. In exchange for that, being in a much better position financially, and in the future, a lot of that can hopefully be on autopilot. It's things that I've already put work into developing as far as courses and video series and things that people can continue to find forever and gain value from. And at some point, maybe I can turn the dial down on that and turn the dial back up on the competitive professional golf and have more money at my disposal in terms of like coaching and training and just going all in. I kind of have this vision of probably moving away just with a small inner circle of friends and trainers and people related to this whole operation I've got going on, both the filming of it as well as my training, and really seeing how far I can take this whole golf thing. I feel like until I get to that point, I'll always be just scratching at the surface of what's possible. But at that point, I think the sky is the limit, and I really could be one of the best players in the world, as long as I'm healthy and still have the drive for it. So I guess I'll try to wrap it right there. I had a bunch of notes written for this, but I seem to just like to flow off the cuff, kind of stream of consciousness style for these videos. Hopefully you were able to stay with me and it made some sense, but in short, kind of the bullet point version. 2022 was great. I did a bunch of shit. I'm gonna summarize in some of the content these next 2 weeks what I did, what I learned. Yeah, I'm gonna put the Italy vlogs out. I filmed so much stuff that you guys haven't seen, which feels like it would be a huge waste to just burn it at this point. But the reality is I don't have much time before 2023 is underway, and I'm doing all kinds of new stuff, and I really want to put my energy primarily into educational content and these courses, and starting to attract more and more like-minded people, not just from an entertainment standpoint, but from a learning standpoint. And I guess what I've realized in the last 1 to 2 weeks is that it's a strength that I'm so curious about so many different things, and that I'm spending time, taking ice baths, and I'm spending time doing like very extreme, intense DMT breath work, in the middle of my day, and I'm meditating every day, and I'm reading, and I'm starting to get into some crevices of the internet that are very hard to find and are full of very progressive, interesting, intellectual people trying to squeeze all the juice out of life that they can and figure out what is the purpose of it all. Like, what's the best way to use our limited time on earth and get past all the superficial stuff and get out of all the traps thinking like, oh, it's important to like race into a relationship, it's important to race into making money, it's important to race into acquiring things. Like, no hate on anyone that lives that way, because that's just how we're programmed from a very young age. But if you could reverse back to being born when none of that programming has hit your brain yet, what is the essence of being at that point in life? And now in our older years, is it possible to unlearn all the things we've been taught and find a better way where we're not so anxiety ridden and stuck in a comparison trap between our lives and other people's lives? And it's sad to say, but the reality is 99% of our population lives a very mediocre, lackluster existence, where even if they have a lot of material outward accomplishments, I think very few people find real peace and joy and fulfillment from doing all of the self-work and turning your gaze internally rather than externally to what everyone else is doing, turning it internally to ask yourself those hard-hitting questions of like, why are we here? How can I make the collective human race evolve slightly with my impact during my time here on Earth? What happens after Earth? Like, don't want to get too deep in this one video. The point is that the future of my brand is going to be diving into a lot more of these kind of topics, and I think I can phrase everything through my unique perspective and lens, which has always been through golf. So I'm not going to like never talk about golf and never play golf, but I think my content will be very multifaceted and kind of just a reflection of my life. And I think that that's an emerging career path that could work for a lot of you as well. I think the advice that like you need to be in one niche is just wrong. If you're a one-dimensional person and you don't have a lot of curiosities because maybe you haven't had the opportunity to explore them yet, or you kind of bought into some indoctrination at a young age that you have one identity and you are a contractor or you are an electrical engineer and that's it, nothing else is a part of you. Maybe it's not for everyone, but for someone like myself, and I know a lot of other people out there can probably relate, the world is a big and interesting place, and man, why not try to learn as much and explore as much of it as possible and have as many unique experiences with interesting and inspiring people as possible during your time on Earth? And if that's what you believe, as I do, then I think the internet is, your golden ticket to the most ideal lifestyle possible, where you can constantly self-improve through learning about all these different topics and experimenting on yourself with them, and then sharing your findings with the audience, and finding not only financial freedom but also fulfillment out of knowing that you're playing part in the overall human evolution by making it easier for the people 2 steps behind you to get to where you are, because you're condensing the information that helped you, and you're weeding out the bad stuff and highlighting the good stuff and then sharing it with them so that they can get to where you are quicker and experiencing less pain along the way, and then they can do the same for those behind them. And over time, this is human evolution at work. So anyway, I'll leave it at that for now. Thank you, as always, for everyone that supports me and watches these videos. And as always, I'm still going to post on Instagram, I'm still going to post on TikTok, but I'm going to be primarily focusing on long-form YouTube videos, which is where this kind of content belongs, and then written summaries of them in an email newsletter, and then aggregating the collection of this type of video and that type of newsletter on a multitude of subjects, kind of aggregating all of that into courses, and then iterating on that over the years and over the months to hopefully make the best products I can that help you guys improve your lives in a variety of ways. So that's it for now. I love you guys. Peace.